Well, we'll tell the story. This is the first time we've told it to people before, very few people. But we were about to turn down WWE.
All right, we're doing it.
Yeah.
It's early enough to have coffee in here?
Well, black tea.
Hold on, you got to hold the mic up to your face.
Up to the face.
Yeah.
Black tea. Not
okay.
Coffee, yeah.
Are you a coffee drinker?
Yes, all day black, nothing in it.
Well,
just straight old man type.
Yeah. He likes black coffee, which I got him into, and I don't drink it anymore. I got him into black coffee.
I see it off camera if you want to grab it. Are you good?
He wants
you know what?
Okay. And the mic even stretches that far. There we go. And you get to see the beautiful bench that we have here in the Aloft Hotel.
Yeah. Like Chris said, the bus bench over here.
Yeah, it looks like doesn't it look like a bus bench?
It does.
Yeah.
It really does.
It's a pleasure to sit down with you guys because you guys are absolutely tearing it up in AEW and, completely changing the game when it comes to tag team wrestling. How's it been since the debut?
Very few words can describe it. It's just awesome. It's very it's like all the hard work that we put in, and it is finally paying off. The fact that we get to just fly in on Wednesday for the most part, sometimes Tuesday, wrestle, and then come back home and get to spend time at home, and then get to rest our bodies, and then are able to give our A game every Wednesday. It's amazing. Instead of being like, I mean, we love the indies, and we wouldn't do it if we didn't love it. But I love the break. You know what I mean? It is not a break because we still got to work hard, of course. But it's all the experience that we gained doing what we did, and now we get to show it on the grandest scale.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
it's been it's been a pretty surreal time for us. It's like you said, all the hard work, everything that we've put in, all the sacrifices, all the long miles on the road, just everything is paid off, and we're. I personally feel like we're at the top of our game, and now is just for us to put out the very best work that we could, what I mean, and make it a consistent thing.
Because it's all downhill from here. This is it. Yeah, it's all downhill.
This worked out pretty perfectly with your Impact contracts ending at the right time, and there being an opportunity here in AEW.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, every of course, I'm sure you've heard it a ton of times, and it's like that with everything in entertainment is right place, right time. And I feel like the stars aligned perfectly for everything that was going on, and with our contracts coming up, and then, just how All Out was booked and how everything just came. We couldn't have asked for a better, what I mean? So.
And I also, thanks to being able to do the Jericho cruise, the first one, because that's pretty much was basically our job interview. That's how we got in with everybody.
That's interesting.
Yeah, we just had a really good in-ring chemistry with the Bucks, and we got on with everybody. And then we also got to wrestle Cody and Hangman in this really crazy match that'll never see the light of day. At least I don't think so, unless some fan has it on their camera.
Someone watching this has it.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
someone has it. It was all the elite guys dressed up as the
First
Mushroom
of all,
Kingdom.
I don't know what you're talking about. I saw Team Impact versus Team
Mushroom Kingdom.
I don't know who these
there's
elite guys were.
Mario, Luigi, Princess Peach, which was Brandy.
Toad came out for a special appearance.
Yeah, Toad, which was Kenny Omega. Yeah, it was an interesting match.
I saw.
I'm sorry.
The Jericho cruise is insane. Like,
it was amazing.
Everyone talks about how fun it is, how crazy it is, but until you're actually there experiencing these ridiculous things.
Amazing. Are you going this year?
I haven't fully decided yet.
You need to go.
Okay.
You need
then
to.
Yes.
It's going to be a Tommy Life.
Yes, I'll go.
Okay, just imagine the interviews you could get on that too.
That's true.
Yeah.
Oh man, isn't it like open bar?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's ridiculous.
Then think of the interviews we can get.
Yeah. So hopefully they'll do it again this year. Which we're stoked because we were just announced. We didn't know for sure.
Yeah.
Like we had a feeling we're in the inner circle. Of course, how are we not going to be on the Jericho cruise? But no one told us anything backstage. And then recently we got announced and we were like, yeah, this better happen.
So whose idea was it when you guys debuted with the presidential masks on?
So we it was a mutual idea. So for that whole weekend, we were already in Chicago for some indies and stuff, and for some reason we had a Patrick Swayze kick where we spent the whole weekend watching Patrick Swayze movies.
Roadhouse,
Tu Wong Fu.
Classic.
And then Point Break with
Point Break.
Mask, yeah.
So once we saw that, baby, the little hand on the clock means it's time to rock and roll. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So once we saw that, we were like, yo, how about this? And it just worked out. We went to this Halloween store. We bought the present. So we originally wanted to do what was it? It was going to be. He was supposed to be Reagan. Wait, you were Reagan, right? No, you had the JFK mask. So it was supposed to be Reagan.
You're like, I don't even know.
It was going to be Reagan and Bill Clinton,
JFK,
right?
yeah,
so the president from when he was growing up and then the president from when I was growing up.
Right.
So that was the whole idea behind it.
Yep.
And there was no Ronald Reagan mask, so I was like, JFK is going to have to do, bro. You're not getting my Bill Clinton mask. So
You're lucky it was Halloween, because I don't think you could just come across those at the last minute anywhere.
Exactly.
And we were specifically told not Trump. So, we stood away from Trump. Yeah.
The reaction from the crowd was insane.
Yes. We right before we loaded up to get into position to go out and go do the thing, we looked at each other and we're like, we're not going to get any reaction. We're just going to go out
crickets.
there.
Yeah,
we're just going to get crickets. Like, who are these guys? And obviously it was the exact opposite. And it was awesome. I honestly, best drug ever. You know what I mean? That crowd, you feel it in your veins. Like to take something from The Rock, like it's like electricity. It's insane. You just feel it in your veins. And it was awesome. And that's why we wrestle for that hit. That's our drug as a wrestler. Yeah.
I remember the reaction happening and we taking off the mask and the crowd going crazy. And I remember just looking up at the rafters, at the the nosebleeds. As the nosebleeds and it just came to me like, yo, I was one of those kids up there.
Wow.
And now I'm standing in the middle of this ring getting this kind of reaction. I remember when I remember going to the Garden as a kid in '97, and it was one of the first times that Stone Cold has stunned China in the ring. And I remember the place erupting, and I was all the way in the nosebleeds, with that same reaction. And I was like, damn, this shit is, you can't, write this shit.
Yeah. I was actually in the crowd for that one, and everyone around me is like, that's LAX. And obviously you guys can't be LAX in AEW. For people that, might have watched Impact years ago and think that LAX was Homicide and Hernandez, can you kind of clear up how they're LAX and you guys are also LAX?
Yes. We still get that. Just because, unfortunately, I guess people still wasn't watching it and people were still living on the glory days of TNA/Impact. But, maybe 10 years later, I think, since the original?
Yeah, ish.
Let's say about 10 years, give or take. Conan reached out to us, long story short, and we had no word from him. We got recommended by a friend to him that was doing Lucha Underground with him back Swerve, Shane Strickland, or Isaiah, what's his name in WWE now? Isaiah Swerve, Travis? Scott. Isaiah Scott.
Jesus,
sorry.
What's going on?
Sorry, Shane.
I can't wait for him to send you a message.
Man,
what a scrub you are.
I forgot his new name. I'm sorry. You know how when wrestlers always change their name, you're always going to call them by their own name. I've known him for years as, Shane, Swerve. All right,
He'll answer to anything.
Yeah, Swerve. There you go. He still goes by Swerve. So Swerve recommended us to Conan, and Conan saw some of our stuff on YouTube, and we were just in the indies. Like, we had no TV exposure at that point. Maybe one pay-per-view underneath our belt, but like one pay-per-view, if that. He was just like, hey, I want to do this LAX thing. And then luckily we had a relationship with Homicide, being he's from New York. And Homicide kind of gave it the stamp of approval, and we got brought in as LAX. And they built us as the new, LAX, I would say 5.0. I can't even say 2.0 because they had so many different versions before it became Homicide and Hernandez. It was always Homicide, but there was always a different Hernandez. There was like 2 or 3 different Hernandezes before Hernandez. And then And then we got brought in, and we got built up as the new LAX, kind of like the new versions, I guess the new Justice League.
Right. And our goal from the very beginning was to blow all of them out the water. Our goal was to come in and take this thing that has had, you know, a great reputation and it had, you know, an amazing following and stuff, and we wanted to just blow it up even bigger, you know what I mean? Like take what Homicide and Hernandez did and just elevate it to its maximum point. And that was our goal with everything that we were doing, from the you know, the segments to the matches to we were like, yo, yeah, they may have been 5 different renditions of LAX, but this one
needs to be the one.
Is going to be the one.
Yeah.
Well, and what's unique about you guys is there's not a lot of tag teams that come up through the indies. I think a lot of guys want to just have the spotlight to themselves, or maybe they don't click that well with somebody. What made you guys decide, like, yes, we're going to be a tag team and we're going to do this thing together?
It's a whole long backstory to it.
Yeah. We'll be here for like 3 hours.
We got lots of time.
I think eventually we hit the point. I mean, we did have the conversation, but I don't remember exactly when. But eventually, we were just hitting a what's the word?
I'm excited to see what word we get here.
I can't think of a word.
You guys are a tag team. You should be finishing each other's sentences.
Exactly, right? We kind of got on our correct flow.
You were hitting your stride.
Stride. That's the word I was looking for. Stride.
It is early. Drink some more tea.
Yeah. I literally woke up at 9:30, so I'm still.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's been about 30 minutes.
Appreciate the importance.
I woke up at 5 in the morning. You know?
We hit our stride. That's the word I was looking for. Sorry, it just wasn't coming to me. A lot of hits to the head. Apologize.
But so you guys worked indies for a long time as a tag team.
Yes.
So what were you called then?
EYFBO. Can we curse on here?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. It stood for entertaining your fucking balls off.
Yeah,
so when we first started, we were LMFAO was like really big.
Yeah.
Right. And as you can see, as I show more now than I did when we were.
He forced
LAX.
me into it. I'm just gonna say.
Yeah,
that.
I'm definitely more of the flamboyant, loud. Like that's just who I am as a human being. That's who I was as a teenager. Not so much now. I've definitely chilled a lot more out. But I'm cheesy. I like stupid stuff. I like a different array of things, you know what I mean? And he's more of the straight-laced guy, and that's just how he carries himself as a human. And me, I'm kind of more easygoing. He's more like, nah, you shouldn't be doing this, you know what I mean? And
how do you feel about that, Santana?
Brother.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I call it how it is.
But anyways, LMFAO was really big at the time, and I was just like, hey, we should do this in wrestling. Because any good wrestling kind of gimmick, they go off whatever's popular in pop culture.
Yeah.
We needed something. We needed a stick. And I was just like, yeah, we could definitely do this. I could definitely be this, you know, loud and dance and whatever. And that's kind of what it started off as. But he just didn't really take to it. He would do it a little bit, but as you know, he's just he is who he plays on television. He is Santana. He's just turned up, you know, a little bit more. And I wouldn't even say that much more. That's just who he is as a person. He can joke around, obviously, if you get a couple of beers in him. But
it
you know,
sucks that it has to take a couple of beers. But
sometimes
That's
he
the
ain't
case
wrong.
with all of us.
He ain't wrong.
But you guys are so incredibly intense when you're on camera, when you're in the ring.
Yeah.
I know this from firsthand experience when I was in a segment with you guys a few weeks ago, Charleston, West Virginia, with the Rock and Roll Express, and like I felt like in that moment you guys were gonna murder me.
I remember.
Thank you for not.
I remember walking up to you and I was like, "Back the fuck!" And you just like, "Well, you got it."
I think. Well, both of you guys were like yelling at me, and Santana, you're like, "Get to the fucking back!" And I'm like, "Okay, yes, sir. Okay."
Just quick story. I have to that reaction. So we're really cool with MVP, right? So there was this indie show that we're on. It was Loki versus Chris Dickinson. We were on Chris Dickinson's side. If you go back to the Indies, if you go back to the Indies, we were in an indie group with Chris Dickinson, Team Pazuzu. It was us, Chris Dickinson, and Jaka and Pinky Sanchez. Anyways, I digress. On the other side was Loki. and it was MVP, Samoa Joe, and Homicide. So in TNA, they were BDK, right? BDC? BDC, sorry. They were BDC, and they were having kind of like each team member was ringside for it, kind of like Japanese Young Boy style, just kind of doing the match. So during that, MVP does that to us and was like, "You motherfucker," and I was like, "Holy shit, MVP is gonna fuck us up."
So the whole time I'm trying to pay attention to the match and all this shit, and then he's like, "Bro, look at MVP."
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I look over at MVP, and he's like almost drooling.
Yeah, like
he's
foaming, like ready to murder us.
And I'm like, well, it looks like it's gonna be that kind of night.
Man, yeah. And I'm just anxious, and I'm just like, man, if we're gonna have to do this, I'm gonna have to do this, but fuck.
Well,
I'm like, all right.
It's us, right? And you know, New York cats, we whatever. But when you're looking across from that ring and you see Homicide, Samoa Joe, and MVP, you're like,
yeah,
shit.
So to connect the two stories, I channeled MVP at that moment, and that's what you felt.
Well, you channel it all the time.
Yeah.
Both of you guys, not just in that moment.
Yeah.
I mean, and so to be able to come in with that crowd reaction and to be part of the Inner Circle, which is the hottest faction in wrestling right now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Man, you're right. It's all downhill from here.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. How do you get any better at this point? It's fine.
But you knew you were coming in to be part of that faction.
Yes.
Like that was part of the original discussions.
Yeah, yeah. So since the cruise, Cody reached out to us and was like, "Hey, what's your status? What's going on?" He kept in touch with us all the way up until the point that we joined. Also the Bucks and everybody. But then once we were pretty much from the beginning, almost from the beginning, we did weigh out all our options, of course. But once it was kind of known that we were going there, Jericho found out. And since Jericho got to see us perform on the cruise, he was like, "I want those guys on my team." So it was kind of like everything kind of working together. And then once we found out Jericho wanted us, we were like, how are we going to go anywhere else,
It was
man?
like, to hear that, it was like, all right.
Yeah, and we bonded over Jericho's first book. Like, legit.
Actually, that book is probably what got us together
as a tag team.
Yeah.
So you guys were training at the same wrestling school?
No.
Okay, so you didn't train at the same, but you started working in indies in the same area?
We used to backyard wrestle together when we were teenagers. That's how we met.
What were your backyard wrestling names?
I was Suicide.
And I was Angel Ortiz. I was always Ortiz.
Okay, well,
I kept it going.
I was a backyard wrestler as well. That's why I asked.
Oh, nice. Yeah. What was your name?
Chris Sharp.
Sharp? Okay.
Yeah, it was sharp walking, sharp talking, sharp dressing. Got a sharp promo on you right now.
There it is.
So the backyard wrestling, and then you guys went off and trained at your own schools?
Yes, we trained separately. Let's say about 4 years into our training, we were at a random show together. We hadn't seen each other in years. The last time I saw him, he was shorter than me. And then I hadn't seen him in maybe 4 or 5 years at that point.
You got like a second growth spurt?
Yeah.
That's
He just
incredible.
Yeah, he just blew up and he looked like a grown man. I didn't even recognize him at first. I was like, "Who is this dude?" I remember this short, big head kid, you know what I mean, with a choker on, which he'll deny to this day. He was very punk rock back in the day. Now he's all 90s hip hop.
What were your favorite punk bands? I'm a big punk fan.
He was like metal and punk rock.
I was into metal.
Okay. Excuse me, not punk rock, metal. I apologize.
Sorry. Well, name some bands then.
I mean, I grew up listening to like Metallica and Megadeth and all, the classic, like the big four guys.
Now you're just a huge Fozzy fan. Fozzy rocks out hard.
First of all, seeing them perform,
we got to see
on
them
the
perform
cruise,
live.
It's insane.
They're awesome.
I have, as a performer, I have even more respect for Jericho because this man was just throwing back the Red Bull and Grey Goose and then went on stage, killed it, and then proceeded to come down and just kill more Grey Goose and Red Bull and just rock. He's a legitimate rock star. It's awesome.
Not only that, but then the next morning to wake up early at like 8 a.m., go to the gym, and I see all these dudes in the gym killing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like,
it's just that old school mentality,
the whole
man.
crew, yo.
Wow.
We young pups can't handle that.
Yeah, I've realized in the AEW where I ask someone to do an interview at like 10 a.m., it's usually like, Ooh,
I'm surprised you didn't get that from him.
Kind of early.
No, so now
I appreciate you doing it.
Nah, I'm usually now like during the week when I'm home, I'm up at 6 a.m. because I take my daughter to school every morning. So
Right. Yeah, you guys are both fathers, and I don't know if everybody realizes this.
yeah.
How old are your daughter?
My daughter is 5 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
My son is a year old in a couple of months.
Oh,
I don't want to be
wow.
one of those parents. He's like 15 months
Oh,
and 2
yeah.
days. He's a year old.
I
but
hate
yeah.
that.
He's a year and a couple of months.
yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, well, apparently after your kid gets to be 1 year old, you can't say he's one anymore.
There's people
he's
that do
14 months
Yeah,
old.
yeah.
That's so corny. I don't understand.
Yeah.
Do you get? Are you upset that it's not Ortiz and Santana?
No.
Who decides Santana and Ortiz? Or
You know-
Santana and Ortiz?
You know what it is? It just happens organically. Like everyone just, and then actually I forgot who I asked. Someone, and they were like, it just flows off the tongue.
I think Dasha.
Was it
Dasha was
Yeah.
asking us. Yeah.
And then we were like,
She was asking us for Spanish commentary, and she was like, "Oh, which way do you guys like it better?" And I was just like, "Honestly, it doesn't really matter."
it doesn't
you know what I
matter.
mean? And then she was like, "Yeah, Santana and Ortiz just sounds better." I mean, I think Ortiz is a stronger last name. Not to downplay Santana. No disrespect to your grandmother.
yeah, you don't want to do that.
But
don't.
just the Z. I like the Z in the name. I've
Yeah.
always liked something with the Z, which is why I came up with Ortiz. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that. What about Pride and Powerful? Where'd that come together?
So
So we got it together. So we got together with this rap group from New York, and shout out to all these dudes, Bodega Bams,
Tan Boys.
Ola.
I got the hat right on,
yeah,
right here.
the
a lot of
Tan-
people asking me about the hat. This is Tan Boy's hat.
Yeah.
I got this gifted, and this is why I wear it all the time. I like to represent them.
Yeah, it was a crew from New York named the Tan Boys, and we all got together, and we all, in hanging out and talking so much and all this stuff, like we connected because we're very proud people, and we represent our culture and we represent our people and stuff like that. So we had this common idea of like, yo, proud and powerful. Like if you're proud, it makes you powerful. No, it doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, what you do. Be proud of who you are and where you come from. You know what I mean? And yeah, we were like, yo, what if we went with this? Like, not even as our name or whatever, just our motto and what we represent and what we put out. You know what I mean? And that's just our brand. Like me personally, I always said, like, if I never got into wrestling, I always wanted to do something that was going to help people. And like now with our following and what we do and stuff, I figured like, yo, this is the best time to do it and the best way to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We have a lot of people following us and a lot of
And it grows every day.
yeah,
which is
and
awesome.
a lot of people that from where we come from that look up to what we do and see that, yo, there's these two dudes that look like me from where I come from doing something positive, doing something good.
They're on
So-
TNT. They're on television. It's astounding.
I imagine every Wednesday night your followers.
Oh,
you know,
100%.
Oh, always.
Yeah,
It spikes up. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll consistently get followers throughout the week,
Yeah.
always, especially if AEW posts something
Sure.
and puts our handles on it and stuff. But definitely on Wednesdays, there's always a big spike.
Yeah.
The promo you cut in the subway, Proud and Powerful promo, that was intense.
Yeah.
And also, like, there's all these people standing around, like, actually waiting to get on the subway, like, waiting to get on the train. They're like, why is this man yelling?
Pretty much. That's the New York mentality. So I go and I really give it, right? And I was like, I need to do this in one take. I'm not going to just be yelling like a maniac. Eventually, someone's going to call the cops. So I have to do this in one take,
And,
right?
and it's you, like, super intense,
Yeah.
and two cameramen walking
Yeah,
backwards.
yeah.
Like, this must have been quite a scene.
Yes. So I did it, and then after I do it, literally everyone goes from this to it's just right back on their phone.
That's New York, baby. That's New York. Mind your
It's just
business.
like nothing.
And keep doing you.
And
keep
I'm
it
just
moving.
like, I'm coming down off of it, and you know when you really get into something, I'm like, and I'm looking around, and I'm just like, all right, so we'll go now. We'll go
At
shoot
one
the
point,
next
I
scene.
think there's like a little blooper, and I think at one point he goes, "So no one's gonna clap?"
Oh yeah, I did do
on the
that. I was like,
platform,
nobody.
like-
Yeah, I was like, nobody. All right.
Being from New York obviously makes you guys a lot of who you are, right? Like
Yeah.
that's ingrained in your DNA.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I mean, but your family's from Puerto Rico?
We have family from Puerto Rico. He has.
So my my grandparents are pretty much first generation Puerto Ricans that came to this country, and They came in 1968. My grandmother came in 1968. She was 15 years old. And pretty much, yeah, like they built a family here and all that stuff. But like we're deeply, deeply rooted in Puerto Rico. You know what I mean? So I grew up going back and forth every single year. You know, starting from the age of 2-3 years old. You know, I was going every summer, and I would be over there for like 2-3 months with my family. So I grew up deeply immersed into the culture and all that stuff. So, I mean, yeah, we're New Yorkers, man. Like, New Yorkers.
You know, it's going to happen eventually. AEW is going to go to Puerto Rico.
Oh, man.
It's going to happen eventually.
I can't wait.
And you guys are going to be...
How can we be heels there? It's going to be like Bret Hart when he goes to Canada.
You're right. Yeah. You're not even really... Like, you are heels, but it's like you guys are so talented and so enjoyable to watch that it's hard to boo you guys.
Thank you. Which is why we're trying to change up our wrestling style. Because I don't know if you've seen our older stuff to what we're trying to do now. Yeah, we still do our cool combos and sequences, but we're trying to change it up a little bit. We're trying to be more meticulous, really more methodical, working a body part, and we're just trying to we want to show people that we can do it all. You know what I mean? Because if you want to throw us in there with Lucha Bros, we can have that insane tit for tat match like all day. We've wrestled them like 20 times at this point, and we can do it. But we also want to challenge ourselves and really implement more of an old school style of wrestling with sprinkles of the new school in it, rather the reverse. The reverse.
Yeah. Well, who were some of the wrestlers you guys looked up to growing up?
Christopher Daniels.
And my number one was always Bret Hart.
Okay.
Like he was the first person that I saw getting into wrestling, and he just always attracted me because during that time where wrestling was just all about gimmicks and having some kind of wacky character or whatever, he was the only one that was himself.
He did have a gimmick.
He was him, Bret.
But that was his gimmick.
Whatever.
That was his gimmick.
I was always attracted to like the realism.
It just wasn't a cartoonish gimmick. That's what it was.
Well, what about you?
Me, Christopher Daniels. So our wrestling background is a lot different. He was watching wrestling from when he was like 2 or 3, probably since he could remember. He has a picture of him in a bathtub playing with wrestling toys.
Like 3 years old.
Yeah, 3 years old playing. Me, I knew what wrestling was when I was a kid, but I was into like Ninja Turtles and other things.
Who's the best Ninja Turtle?
I was always Donatello fan.
What? Yeah. What an odd pick that was.
Yeah, he was a smart one. He knew everything that would go down.
Everybody goes with Michelangelo or Raphael. You know this.
Raphael, he's the badass. You know what I mean?
Jeez.
I just...
wow.
Disappointment.
When he picks Donatello.
He's the reason why they had so much cool shit.
Fine.
They had the vehicles,
You're such
everything.
a nerd.
I am a nerd. Yeah.
All right, you can carry on.
I'm an undercover nerd. Yeah. I play I play Pokemon, man. No judgment over here.
Jeez. Wow.
Hell yeah. I got it upstairs on my Switch.
Who's your favorite Pokemon?
I'm old school, like Charizard.
I don't know what that is, but
you know Charmander. He's like one of the first generation ones. Nothing. You know Pikachu.
I know.
There you go. You know Pikachu. You're gonna get heat for not knowing.
I know.
Pokemon.
I am.
Yeah.
Sorry, everyone.
Give him heat. Give him heat.
So
he agrees with you. He would be saying terrible things right now if this camera wasn't on.
It's okay. You got my back. Yeah. So then you got into wrestling a little bit later.
Yes. So
like the prime of TNA.
Around then. I was like early 2000s for me. So what really did it for me, one of my friends, I always give him a shout out when I bring him up, Nicholas Massey. He was a tape trader back in the day. This is before YouTube days. This is when High Spots was first kind of coming out with their VHS tapes that you can get stuff. And he introduced me to the world of indie wrestling. I didn't even know this really existed at this point. And early Ring of Honor, early CZW, 3PW, the short-lived fed of Blue Meanie. I was going to all these random shows, a Jersey All-Pro, and I got introduced to indie wrestling. And I knew what, WWF was showing at the time. It was around the Attitude Era, right when I got in. And then I started watching WCW, WWF. I really got into wrestling. And then it just, once you get bit by that bug, as you know, you're hooked. And for me, it was more indie wrestling that made me want to be a wrestler. Like WWF was cool, and I was like, yeah. But when I watched indie wrestling and I saw the difference in style of wrestling and what they were doing, which is what's more relevant nowadays, is what you see now. They were doing in the early 2000s. You know what I mean? And even before that, if you go really back to like early 90s Michinoku Pro, that's the style that you see today. And they were doing it in the early 90s, which was awesome. But yeah, just going to those indie shows, and then Christopher Daniels was the one for me, just because he was so fluid in the ring. He's still super fluid in the ring. It's insane. He's like a robot. He doesn't age.
He can make anyone look good too.
Yeah. So I still am, and I always will be a fan of the little things, and it's the little things that he does in the ring and how he moves in the ring that made me a fan of him. And I've always been a fan of Christopher Daniels. It'll always be my number one favorite wrestler, and I get to work with him, which is insane. Yeah, that was kind of what got me and bit my bug. And then I started watching Japanese wrestling. And then once I got those tapes, I discovered who Misawa was, Kenta Kobashi. And I was like, what? Kawada. And seeing King's Road. If you go back and watch King's Road wrestling, you're like, how's these guys not dead? They were just dropping each other on their head and just like legit just clubbing each other in the face and just murdering people. And I was just like, this is amazing. I want to do this. I know that's something weird to say. I want to get murdered, but yeah.
You're the ones doing the murdering. And
power
bombing people through the stage and hitting them with softballs in a sock. Yeah, nice. Yeah, jeez.
Not softballs. Softballs are the bigger ones.
Oh, it's just baseballs.
Yeah, baseballs.
Great. The harder ones.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Jeez. Like I mentioned earlier, I love that you guys are a legitimate tag team rather than, a lot of times it's like, you're not doing anything and you're not doing anything, so now you guys are a tag team. So the fact that you guys are, a legitimate tag team that came up together, who are some of the tag teams that you guys look up to currently or have always looked up to? Who are some of the great tag teams?
Well, number one will always, and we both agree, and we usually don't agree on a lot of things, but number one, the Briscoes, man. I think the Briscoes are the GOAT as far as just, you could bring a lot of Rock and Roll Express. There's a million other tag teams that, I don't think tag team wrestling would be as, what's the word? Again, I'm having a blank.
Here we go.
As relevant as it is today without the Rock and Roll Express, teams like the Rock and Roll Express. But for me, for someone that's just kept the style, again, my wrestling background's a little bit different. I just go with the Briscoes. And we always scream, and I always say we're the best. But honestly, we have to try to surpass the Briscoes, and I think that's hard. I think they're the best tag team, of all time. I just think their style, the way they wrestle, the way they've been doing it for so long, and they can still go. Like, Mark is still doing insane dives to the floor, and I just don't know how his body takes it.
Yeah.
Mark is insane. Jay's another one. It's just
to just have kept the pace that they've kept for so many years, consistently.
And we know how we feel now. We haven't even done half the stuff that they did. And I'm just like, how? How are they doing it? Yeah.
As you sit here right now, does anything on you guys hurt?
Everything.
I've been feeling really good lately.
Better,
ton better. Like, since we've had a lot more time at home and time to recover and rest our minds and do what's necessary to make ourselves feel better. This is probably the best I've felt in a very long time. And I've been, super consistent with working out and stretching and all that stuff. So, thankfully, I've of course, you still got your aches and pains and
always that'll never go away.
Shit, but for the most part, like, I'm actually getting out of bed comfortably now. So that's a good thing.
That's a win.
Yeah, hell yeah, it is.
In the world of wrestling, that's a win.
I have severe lower back pain. That's my biggest thing, and I think I just really have. I've went to the PT guys over here at AEW, and I just have really bad hip and lower back issues, and I've been working on it, and it's been getting better, but I always wake up every morning with my lower back and my hips all
How
shot.
are you able to bump if you have back pain?
You just do it. Adrenaline is a hell of a drug, honestly.
Wow.
When you're out there, like when that switch goes on, it's just, you ever hear the stories about Kurt Angle? He'll be in the back, and he's just walking around, and he's just like, man, how's this guy going to wrestle? And then as soon as he comes out of his entrance, it's like, whoa, he's like a different human being. It's just, there's something about that red light. There's something about being in front of that crowd that everything that you're feeling goes away for those 15, 25, 6, however long your match is. Usually matches don't go longer than 30 minutes unless you're doing an Ironman match. but for whatever time you're out there, you just get hit with that adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
And it's a hell of a drug, man.
Jeez. When you guys saw the design for the Inner Circle shirt, before it got released, what was your reaction to it?
So I was talking.
He saw it before I did.
Yeah,
I didn't get to see it until the shirt.
I was talking with
dropped.
Ryan from Pro Wrestling Tees, and we were talking about it, and then he sent me a picture of it, and I was like, okay. And he was like, yeah, Jericho was looking for something more of like a secret society, Illuminati type, symbol type thing, and then that's where it clicked. Because when I first saw it before the explanation, I was like,
what the F is
this? I was just trying to, like, it wasn't like
he's being nice right now.
Nah, like, straight up, you know me, I would have shit all over it. But it was more of curiosity and trying to like figure out, all right, so what's the whole deal? And then he explained it, and I was like, okay, I see it now. But it's cool, it's different, and yeah.
And the hottest selling shirt, at least at that time.
It broke the website.
We break the internet. That's what we do.
Since there's 5 of you in the Inner Circle, does the royalty check have to be split 5 ways on a T-shirt like that?
Damn right.
I mean, yeah.
At least,
man, even if it's $1, I want my dollar.
Well, sure. Yeah.
You sell enough shirts.
Oh my God. You
sell 20,000 shirts. That's $20,000, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think
so there you go. $1's $1, baby.
That's going to be a good royalty check.
Yeah.
And Pro Wrestling Tees has made it so easy for you guys in general. Yeah. Basically, just make a design, upload it to the site, boom, it can start selling.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, and they have the technology to be like, oh yeah, we got this design 5 seconds ago, and we could print it on the shirt, which is awesome.
That is so crazy. So it's been a great run for you guys. It's only been 2 months now in AEW.
Yeah.
What's the future hold for you guys?
We just want to keep not just progressing ourselves and developing our characters and putting out great amazing work, but also elevating the company as a whole, you know what I mean, and trying to really be part of the reason why this all becomes successful and continues to become successful.
So when we came here, right, we had a long conversation, a long sit down, of course, because we've hand in hand, our career goes hand in hand with each other. So we were like, all right, what do we want to do? Do we want to?
We were in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, we were in Puerto Rico,
sitting in a.
We'll tell the story. This is the first time we've told it to people before, very few people. But we were about to turn down WWE, and we sat down and we were like, all right, man, we don't want to burn a bridge. Like, we never want to burn any bridge anywhere we go, because that's not how you do business. You should keep every avenue open. So he had this whole spiel. He was like, all right, this is what we're going to say so we don't burn a bridge, right? And then we go, and then we get cut off, and they were like, listen, just really think about your decision, right? And then we stop. And we hang up the phone, and we were about to turn them down, and then we sit there and we're like, damn, they're making this really hard for us, right?
Yeah.
And pretty much they were like, write your own ticket and we'll make it happen.
And this was going to be in NXT?
Yes, it was for NXT with the
guarantee to go
to eventually go up to main roster.
Okay.
Yeah. So we were just like, all right, man, dang. Like, dang. But then, honestly, what the ultimate decision was, we were like, do we want to just be a part of something that's already established, or do we want to be a part of something new and make history? Because no matter what happens with AEW, again, we're here to make it successful, but no matter what happens, we will always be a part of the first ever main event on the first ever television of AEW. We were like, do we want to be a part of history, or just fade into black and kind of like, even best case scenario, we're just going to be small fish in a big, you know what I mean, in an ocean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's so many people there, and it would be an uphill battle. Not saying that we wouldn't be able to do it, because we're confident in our abilities, but we could be a part of history. We could be a part of change, and we could be a part of change that literally, you're seeing the change. We were just talking about this before the camera went on, and it's changing wrestling for the better. No matter what happens with this company, wrestling has changed for the better, and it's continually changing for the better. And we were like, man, we want to be a part of history. We want to make a change.
Yeah, and we believe in the vision that everyone has here, and we believe that the team working behind the scenes and even in front of the camera, like, name a better team that's putting out, you know, some amazing work. And
it's young, hungry,
it's exciting.
Talent. Yeah, it's so I mean, that's honestly why we made ultimately our decision.
It's the best time to be a wrestling fan for sure,
100%.
But it must be the best time to be a wrestler as well.
100%.
And not only that, like a huge, another huge part of our decision making was that we both wanted to be dads. You know what I mean? Like the schedule, you know, they were offering us the NXT thing and then going to TV. Once we would have gone to TV, we're on the road, you know, 250, 300 days a year.
Best case scenario. That's if we take off, they push us, they use us on television all the time. We're doing house shows, we're making good money. But guess what? The time that we're home, we're going to be mangled. And then we have 2 small children to deal with. We're like...
You'd also have to move to Orlando.
No, so that was another thing.
Oh, wow.
Okay. That was a part of the deal, too, that they were like, hey, you guys could stay in New York and you could... that's how much
But even then...
Wow.
That's how much they didn't want us to come in. Because before that, they were like, Before this was a thing, we were kind of already in talks with them. So we were like, all right, we're either going to stay in Impact, we might go to WWE, or maybe Ring of Honor, right? We were like playing it this way. We were like, all right, we'll see what's up. We were kind of in our head. It was like, we made a good amount of noise in Impact, but I was like, I feel we need to bring up our name value a little bit more. We can go to WWE and we could cash it in now, but I feel like maybe we bring up our name value a little bit more and be more wanted by them.
Sure.
They were interested enough to offer us something, and we had people kind of pulling for us there to bring us in. So, but I feel like we would have got lost in the shuffle. And then when we first got an offer, it was just like, we're not going to get in a bidding war with anyone. And then it ultimately went down to, all right, what do you want?
Wow.
Which was awesome. And it was only because of AEW existed.
But they were aware that AEW was interested in
Of course, yeah. They know everything. They have secret agents everywhere. That's what someone's listening right now with them,
Yeah, oh my gosh, Well, I don't think it could have worked out for you guys any better.
100%.
And you went right to the top here with AEW, whereas like you said in NXT, maybe you would be in the middle, or who knows? Who knows how you guys would be used?
Yeah, who knows?
It's the best case scenario for you guys, and like I said, we're just getting started here.
Yeah, exactly. It's just
the beauty of it.
It's just the beginning.
I mean,
Jesus. Hopefully, we could be sitting in another hotel room 5 years from now, and we could be like, "Hey, you know what I mean?
What up, Chris?"
I think we'll be sitting in another hotel room in 5 months from now. You guys will have some nice shiny titles, perhaps.
Well, I mean, let us eat everybody up first, and then we'll.
Well, the title we want is the best. That's the title we want, and then still ultimately, the Young Bucks are still considered that. So, until we repeatedly beat them down to a pulp,
When was the last time you guys had a singles match?
It was against each other.
Really?
No, because you wrestled Bronco. You had a singles match after that.
Oh, I don't even count.
Yeah, but you did.
I had a brawl with this older guy that I do business
it's like
with.
It's one of his wrestling dads.
Yeah.
This older guy is like his wrestling father.
So, we had a little brawl. He asked me for a favor because he had his big anniversary show.
Okay.
So I was like, yeah, sure.
When did you guys work each other?
This was for Beyond Wrestling. Yes. Pretty much our home promotion, one of our home promotions.
Yeah. Before we got signed,
we did like a round robin type deal where
go back with Sarah, the Team Pazuzu, our team stable.
Yeah,
we all wrestled each other in a round robin challenge.
Yeah, and then the finals, it came down to me versus him, and we went out there, mangled the shit, and just like in the heat. It was outdoors, it was hot.
Yeah,
it was it started raining.
Yeah,
and
we killed it though.
We did.
Yeah, it was a pretty good match.
Yeah,
because Nick Jackson said last week when he wrestled Phoenix that he hadn't wrestled a singles match in 4 years.
Yeah,
and I'm like, that's probably a similar-ish case for you guys.
Yeah.
It's probably at least 4 years.
Yeah, because that happened like 2015.
Yeah, I would have to go back and see the match. Yeah, it's been a while. I mean, but we got our tag team chemistry by wrestling each other, by training with each other. We wrestled each other a bunch of times in training. We would have these insane matches where we're doing dragon suplexes, doing Germans, just killing each other with no camera on. But back then, when you're younger, you don't feel shit, so you just go for it. And then in training, we would wrestle if the camera was on, and we would just go at it with each other. But because we wrestled each other like that, we got each other's timing down. We got a feel for each other. So there's this internal clock that you get So the reason why our timing is so good is just we don't even have to think about it anymore. There's not like all right, you ready, man? 1, 2, 3. That's like in the beginning. You know what I mean? You have to kind of get in sync with your partner. But now it's just, let's say we come up with a new sequence and we're like, all right, we're going to do this, this, and that. All right, but we never did it before. We'll figure it out. And then we do it, and it comes out like we did it before. And it's just like, yeah, it's just a testament to all the years that we spent just beating each other to the pulp. Wow. Yeah.
There's no reason that with that kind of chemistry, you guys won't be the best.
That's the goal, yeah.
All right, well, thank you guys for making this happen. Yeah. This was really enjoyable. This was really fun.
Yeah. Better than MJF's?
Oh, God. Let's not go there.
Yeah. But we appreciate your interest in wanting to put us out there and like
thank you.
You know, like we know you.
Thank you for giving us the rub.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for putting me over by you guys coming on here. No, but I'm so excited for what the future holds for you guys, and you're making such a huge mark on AEW and such a huge impact there. So I can't wait to see what's next for you guys, and I really acknowledge you for everything you guys are doing in the world of tag team wrestling.
Cheers. Thank you.
So yeah, so thank you guys.
Cheers. Can I get a cheap plug-in?
Do it.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, of course, we're done.
So I'm trying to get my social media followers up. Oh, if you can,
both of you guys.
I'm trying to get sponsors, man. my goal is to get a meal prep sponsor. Okay. So I'd never have to cook again, and then maybe some kind of energy drink. You know what I mean?
How about I drop both of your Instagram handles below?
There you go.
Everyone can follow.
There you go. Follow us,
but you can say them as well, so people can know.
Okay. You got Santana Proud and Ortiz Powerful. You get it? Proud underscore. Sorry. Yeah, you get it? Proud and Powerful. We put some thought behind that.
What a corn. I can't take them nowhere.
I told you I was a nerd.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Well, there you go, Santana and Ortiz. Thank you so much for checking out this chat with them. And as Ortiz said, give them a follow on social media. I will drop their links down below there, and I'll also put mine there. So if you haven't followed me yet, it's at Chris Van Vliet, and you can follow me on there. I'm so glad we were able to make this interview happen here in Chicago. We've been trying to work our schedules out to make this happen for a while, so I'm glad we were able to do it here. I did the interview with Jon Moxley yesterday, and then, well, you've already seen that, but I actually did the interview with him yesterday, then did the interview with Santana and Ortiz today. And you know how they call Chicago the Windy City? And technically, you might already know this, but technically it's not because it's windy here. It's actually a political reference. But today, it is so freaking windy and so cold today, and I forgot to pack a jacket. I'm gonna step outside for a second and show you. So it's in fact so windy here that it's moving my hair. And it takes a lot for my hair to move. Yeah, I use a lot of product, if you couldn't tell. So I'm gonna step back in the car here. Sorry, that was probably really loud if you were wearing headphones. Man, think of how deep the AEW tag team division is. The amount of possibilities, I mean, they're pretty endless here with who Santana and Ortiz could have these epic, incredible matches with. So I'm excited to see what happens next. And I wasn't lying when I said 5 months from now, they're probably going to have some gold. Maybe not 5 months. Maybe it's 2. Maybe it's 3. I don't know. There's actually so many tag teams that could be legitimate champions. I love it. Like I said at the end of the Jon Moxley interview, we are ending the year strong with some very big interviews. So thank you so much for checking this out. And my friends, 2020 is going to be huge.